can have your attention, please, ladies and few gentlemen, and gentlemen, few gentlemen. So one of the things, I just had someone ask me about a business plan and how do you just get started, right? So I said, you know what? Just look around the room. You have a plethora of women who I'm sure will be happy to coach and mentor each and every one of you. And there are also organizations that you can join. And on my back table, you know, the morning speaker talked about multiple streams of income and different things you should be a part of. I have two of the many groups that I'm a part of. One of those two groups, the actual vice president and owner is about to speak to us. And I have cards back there for my chapter, which is 114. You know, you always promote your own chapter of WNA. And Tracy, I met Tracy through WNA, and she is a phenomenal woman. She is, even though at the end it talks about Women's Networking Alliance, I had to put that in the front, Tracy, because it has, like I said, only two of my cards is WNA, Women's Networking Alliance, and the Rotary. And just those two organizations, as far as my business and clientele, you want to network with people who are going to pour back into your business. WNA is an organization that truly not only pours back into my business, but it gives me an outlet with other women business owners. And I don't know if she was going to speak about it, but I just wanted to take the honor to introduce her and let you know the powerhouse woman that she is as a co-owner of WNA. She also is the founder of Zing Pop Social Media. She's passionate about helping small businesses grow and succeed through their online marketing efforts. We talked about technology, we talked about online. You now have the guru coming from social media coaching to total management for email marketing campaign. Zip Pop Social Media turns busy small business owners into online marketing rock stars. Y'all see I have a rock star shirt on today because I knew I would be around rock star women like Tracy, who is a certified content marketing strategist, a master certified solution provider for constant contact, a hoop certified professional, and as I said before, the co-owner and vice president of the Women's Networking Alliance. She also says she really loves cheese. So let's give a round of applause for my friend, Tracy Lee Davis.
Thank you. That seems very exciting for an introduction. You know, this is not something that I was planning on saying, but one of the questions that came up was, someone mentioned something about the loneliness of owning your own business. And it can be very lonely when you just work for yourself and maybe your office is in your kitchen and you don't see any other business owners. And that's one of the things that I really have found through the Women's Networking Alliance is that camaraderie and support from other small business owners. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, I would be delighted to talk to you about it. But what I'm also really delighted to talk to you about today is social media, one of my favorite things. And I'm going to just move this slightly. Just so that I can see that. All right. Here we go. You know what? I'm just going to hold on. Great. A lot easier. Okay, so how many small business owners do we have in the room? Okay, or nonprofit directors. Great. So hopefully all of you are doing something on social media. Is there anyone who is not doing something on social media for your business, regardless of what? All right, interesting. Well, it's time to start. All right, I got my lovely introduction. And again, Tracy Lee Davis, Think About Social Media. I am going to be going through a variety of slides and talking to you about social media. I will be sending all of these slides out. So Lisa's giving me everybody's email address. I'm only going to email you once. I'm not going to spam you. But I'll be following up with you with these slides. So if you are interested in all of this, you can get more detail about it later. And you don't have to take notes if you don't want to. You can just sit back and listen. And I know it's been a long day. And I will try to get through all of this in a timely manner. And ladies can all be on your way home. And men. The two of you, three of you. So, how many of you have owned your business for more than 5 or 10 years? All right, so you know that things have changed a lot with marketing your business in the last decade because of all of these fancy online marketing tools. Back in the day, before internet stuff was going on, you heard about a traditional marketing funnel, right? So you would use newspaper ads, or television ads, or radio ads, or direct mail. You would cast a really wide net out to whoever, in a geographic range, whoever's listening to that radio program, and whatever it may be, and you're casting a wide net, and you're hopefully netting some people who are interested in your product or service, and then even fewer of those people wound up being actual customers, right? It was an expensive way to do things, and as a small business owner, it's really pretty hard to compete with big companies when you don't have the same sort of resources that big companies do. So, it can be a hard landscape for a small business to compete in. But one of the really amazing things about this new way of doing things with social media, with email marketing, is that it really flips that funnel. So that you're starting with the people who already know you, who already like you, who already trust you, and you're growing your network with their help. You're basically having them be your street team so that they can shout out about how wonderful you are and get more of their network to come in and learn about you because of what you're doing on social media. So it's a lot easier for small businesses to compete in this landscape because we all hopefully have really awesome networks who want to support us. So we can all start from that same place. Now, of course, we want to have great word of mouth. We want people talking about us in a good way, hopefully not in a bad way. And so you know that if you have great word of mouth, then you're set. But how does that happen now? It used to be that people would get together and actually talk to each other face to face. We would come together over your fence or over a kitchen table or, have some sort of person-to-person interaction. And hopefully that still happens now. Hopefully you actually see people in real life. But a lot of this engagement, a lot of this word of mouth is happening through social networks. And so the great thing about this is that while I can be having a conversation with someone in my network, the great thing is that everybody in my network and that other person's network can see that conversation. So there's the opportunity for eavesdropping. And we want that because we want people seeing the great conversations that are being had about us and our businesses. So we should harness that and use it to our benefit. Now, whether you have a brick and mortar or not, we're going to say this is your business. And we're going to talk about the engagement cycle because this is how you can really help to grow your network and get more people to learn about you. And that is through, I'm going to start off, you're going to provide some sort of wow experience. Now, this doesn't have to be, someone comes in and they get entered into a drawing for a car. It doesn't have to be that fancy. It can be as simple as remembering someone's name when they walk through the door. When I go to the gym, I type in my phone number and put my little thumb on the thing, and I'm sure my name pops up on the screen, but it makes me feel good when the guy says, "Good morning, Tracy. Great, I'm here at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd like some acknowledgement, thank you." And so that feels good. That makes me feel important to that business. So it could be as simple as that. Or, wrapping a purchase in a piece of tissue and putting it in the bag that way. You know, it's just little things that can really make a big difference. So you provide that wow experience. And then, you entice them to stay in touch. So we're talking about social media, so let's say we invite them to follow us on Facebook. You know, we want them to be a part of our community, and people might not, unfortunately, you guys, people don't wake up in the morning thinking, I'm going to follow them on Facebook today. You know, it just doesn't happen. So you need to remind people that you're out there, remind people that you want them to do this. So you entice them to stay in touch. And then you engage with them. So a great example is, I'm sure Lisa's taken a bunch of pictures today, and she's going to be putting them up onto the event page or her business page, or she's going to be putting them somewhere on the internet. That's for sure. And then you can go engage with those pictures, because she's probably going to be tagging people, talking about how wonderful the panelists were, which the panelists that I saw, you guys were great. I'm glad I got to see and enjoy. But so you want to engage with people. And pictures are an outstanding way to do that. Telling people these event pictures are going to be up on our Facebook page, come and check them out. Because you're not going to be able to tag every single person, right? But if people know that the pictures are going to be there, they can go and interact with them. Maybe tag themselves, maybe share them. And because of that, with that engagement, that makes people feel connected to your business. So if you've gone and had an experience with a business and then they gave you some sort of recognition on social media, that makes you feel good, like you're important. But then that engagement drives social visibility. So people if I go to an event and my picture gets put up on Facebook and I go and I interact with that picture, then my network has an opportunity to see that picture where they might not have ever had an idea about that business before. And so that then drives new prospects back into your business. So there's a really awesome opportunity for getting repeat business from the people who you already have a relationship with, and then that relationship, that connection that you have with that person drives new people to see your business. So it can be an incredibly powerful tool to get people to interact with you on social media, because then all of their network has the opportunity to check you out too, which is of course what we want. And I know a lot of people who haven't yet really embraced social media. Maybe they have a page, maybe they don't, maybe they post stuff, maybe they don't. But the big thing is that social media impacts so many people. Whether we want it to or not all the time, social media is impacting people's decisions. Oops. 78% say a company's social media post influences their decisions. How many of you have made a purchase based on something you saw on social media? Okay, I would say at least 78% of the people in this room. 73% are likely to buy from a brand who responds on social media. And this is really important. I'm going to talk about it more later. But as a small business owner, this statistic is incredibly important to you, or it should be. And then 84% of social media users use it to share their support for a cause. 2 years ago, the Women's March was the biggest thing that was ever talked about on social media. And it still is the biggest thing that's ever been talked about on social media. And it was a huge, huge online movement that gathered a ton of steam because of the ease of sharing through social media. So you want to be harnessing this for your business. I'm not normally a person that says, oh, someone else is doing something, so you should too. However, in this sort of situation, if you are not utilizing social media for your business, your competitors will happily pick up your slack because they want to get in front of those people. So do it because other people are. All right. The great thing is that you, as a small business owner, have this really great advantage over big businesses because you have a real, genuine connection with your followers, your network. They know who you are. You know, I have no idea who the CEO of Coca-Cola is, but I can absolutely feel connected to small business owners who are in this room and feel like I have a connection and then want to support their businesses because of that fact. So you also can then use social media for a whole bunch of things. You want to build and expand the relationships that you already have. You know, maybe people have heard of you, but they don't quite know enough about you to really want to make that purchase yet. And so you're nurturing them along with that. Of course, increasing the brand awareness. If people don't know who you are, it's a great way to tell them what you're all about. And then something you always should be thinking about, especially after the exciting day on Wednesday when Facebook went down, you should always be thinking about growing your email list, because you need a way to keep in touch with your audience. Remember, as much as I love social media, I don't own my business page on any of the accounts that I have. I do own my email list. And so I always have a way to connect with the people who have expressed a desire to stay in touch with me. And you always should be thinking about that. Whether or not you're emailing or not yet, start gathering those email addresses. Okay, so we're gonna breeze through this. This looks like it's gonna take a while, but we're gonna get it done. All right. So there are a lot of different options out there for social media sites. These are a few examples. We've got Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, YouTube, and Periscope. I am here to tell you right now, you do not need to be on every single one of these platforms. It is much better to pick one and do a really great job with it than to be on multiple and be stretched too thin. You want to commit to the one platform and do a really rockin' job, and then when you feel comfortable and confident and you're really doing awesome things there, then you can think about expanding. But you don't have to be on all of them. If you want to go ahead and gather up the usernames for the platforms that you think you want to be using in the future, go ahead. But then put up something saying, hey, the party's happening over on Facebook instead of here on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. But don't spread yourself too thin. So many people tell me, I don't have time to do it, and I really don't think that you need a ton of time to manage your social media, but you really aren't going to be able to be successful if you have every single social platform under the sun started and you can't even handle one. So I'm giving you permission. You only need to be on one. Okay, well, so there are a variety of different reasons why you would use social media, and not surprising, networking is the big thing. We all want to feel connected. We all want to feel like we are part of a community and be around other people who have common thoughts and experiences. And so, not surprising, the vast majority of social networks are all about networking. It's being able to have connections, have conversations, share things with each other, and feel like you're part of a community. It's not surprising then that photo sharing goes right along with all of those, because we love sharing visual things, being able to share our pictures with each other. I know so many people who have said, oh yeah, my mom's on Facebook now because she wanted to see pictures of her grandchild. And so there are so many people who want to just be able to share those things with each other. Now, how many of you are utilizing video on your social media? All right. Not very many of you, but the ones who did, you all get a gold star. Good job. Because video is an incredibly important way to get traction on your page. People like looking at imagery, and if you can get them to watch a video, they're probably more likely to watch a video than they are to read a blog, even though blogging is really important too, so you don't want to forget that. But videos are generally a lot easier. So for some people, I guess it depends on who you are. Some people can write really easily, and other people can make a video really easily. So recorded video is exactly what it sounds like. You record it on whatever device you use, and then you have a file, and you upload that file, and then it lives there. Hooray. That's recorded video. And people like watching videos, so do it. Then, the live video is the newest thing, and it's an incredibly powerful tool, because not only is it video and has all of the great things that video has, but live video generally comes up at the top of people's news feeds because it's happening right now. So it's a great way to get people to pay attention to you in the moment. And live video is just like it sounds like. It's recorded as it's happening, and it's broadcast as it's happening. What's nice with live video for Facebook, for example, is that once you have completed your live video, you have the option of saving it and having it be a recorded video on your website or on your newsfeed. which you definitely want to harness that as well for your business. But regardless of what you are doing on social media, there are a lot of different options, and you should utilize those options, using different types of content. If you know that you want to be doing a lot of videos, then obviously you want to be thinking about being on a platform that does more with videos. If videos are not your thing at all, then you probably don't need to have a YouTube channel. So think about the sort of things that you want to express on your social channels, and that's going to help you drive and pick which one you're going to be on. So I want to talk a little bit about 3 social channels that you probably are considering. Facebook really is the place to be, even though it has some issues, and probably always will. There are 2 billion monthly active users on Facebook. 2 billion with a B, and that's monthly active users. Not just 2 billion people have a Facebook account, but every month 2 billion people log on to Facebook and use it. So chances are very high that the person who you want to reach through social media is already on Facebook. Also, all industries can do just fine on Facebook because it's good for B2B, B2C, nonprofits, everything. Everything can be successful on Facebook. And it's also the most versatile as far as types of content that you can share. So if it is a media type, you can share it. Photos, videos, links, just plain text, all of that good stuff. Facebook really leads the way with media type. This is the thing that people generally tend to get a little nervous when I get to this part. You should be posting on Facebook daily. I heard it. So, if you're not posting on Facebook daily, you're shooting yourself in the foot because there's an algorithm on Facebook. And without getting too deep into it, it's showing users what they interact with. There's so much stuff going on social media that there's no possible way that you can see every single post that comes from every business and every person you're connected to. So Facebook pays attention to every single thing that you click on, even if you just click on it. So if you keep getting like trashy gossip stuff in your newsfeed, it's because you keep clicking on it. I am guilty of this. So you want to make sure that you are giving people an opportunity to interact with your stuff, otherwise they're never going to see it. And if you don't post on a regular basis, then you're not giving people the opportunity to interact with it. So keep that in mind. One of the most amazing benefits of Facebook is the advertising platform. You can be, if you know who your target audience is, if you know who the type of person is that you want to reach on Facebook, you can plug that in to their advertising platform and you can reach those people. It's really awesome and it's really powerful, and you don't have to be spending, thousands of dollars every month. You can spend $1 a day. I think we all can budget $1 for doing some advertising if it's going to get you some more exposure, right? So that's Facebook. And then depending on what you do, LinkedIn might be an appropriate place. I absolutely encourage all of you to have a solid, updated LinkedIn profile, because if you are doing business, then the chances are at some point someone's going to want to do a little bit of research on you, and then if they go and see a very professional, put together, polished looking LinkedIn profile, it's going to just be good for you. Now, whether or not you're posting regularly on LinkedIn may be a different story, but please, at the very, very minimum, have a nice professional LinkedIn profile. This is really an opportunity for you to shine with your industry knowledge, where you can showcase that you know your stuff, you can look like a professional, and you can be a hub for just general resources for your industry. Again, maybe your industry isn't something as professional as I'm trying to think of a good example, but I can't think of a single thing because I'm standing here. But like a realtor, for example, if I'm going to be spending, $1 million+ on home, then I want to make sure that the person who I'm working with is professional and has their act together. So maybe you're not a realtor, but maybe, regardless what you do, have a good looking LinkedIn profile. And with this, you should be posting, 3-ish times a week. If you post every day, that's not a big deal. It's good for you. But you should have some stuff going on LinkedIn. It's not as fast moving as Facebook, certainly not as fast as Twitter. So if you aren't posting on a daily basis, you're not, digging a hole for yourself. But you want to show up, basically, is what this is all boiling down to. And LinkedIn is a great place to toot your horn and make it look like you know what you're doing. Instagram, how many of you are on Instagram? Hooray! Not very many of you, but that's okay. Instagram really it's the fastest growing social network right now. It's really up and coming as far as exploding with different types of users and different types of accounts. So even if you're not food, art, travel, or fashion, you can still be successful on Instagram. A lot of people think, I have a service, I don't have a product to sell, so how can I really shine on Instagram? I have a service, I don't have products that are fun to take pictures of, and I love taking pictures of food, but that's just for me personally. But I am still able to generate business through my Instagram account, and because I put up stuff regularly and put out information that's valuable to my audience. With Instagram, you can do images, you can do videos, you can put together word images. The big thing with Instagram is you need to use hashtags. So who's confused about hashtags? All right, you're not alone, don't worry. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. With Instagram, it is a higher volume platform, so you might want to be doing more like 2 to 3 times a day. But if that really overwhelms you, let's just start with a couple times a week and work our way up. The big thing is we want to be consistent. No matter what platform you're on, consistency is incredibly important with building a following and getting people to interact with you. Instagram is really fun to show different sides of your business. You can easily do a day in the life or behind the scenes, or it's a bit less formal, certainly than LinkedIn, and even a little bit less formal than Facebook. So you can have all sorts of fun things going on with your Instagram account through stories, through live videos. You can do Instagram TV. There are all sorts of options for doing visual things on Instagram. And so if you haven't looked into it yet, I would absolutely recommend giving it a try because it's super fun. Okay, so now you've picked your social network, you know where you want to go, you know what you want to do. It's super important now to set up your profile correctly. Now, this is a Twitter profile. Sorry, didn't mean to shout at you. This is a Twitter profile, but the components are essentially the same. On most social platforms, you're going to have a cover photo. So you want to have that filled in. You don't want it to be blank. That looks not as professional as you could be, so put something up here. This could be your storefront. It can be your product lineup. It can be your team. This is the place to highlight something about your business. This right here, your profile photo, this needs to be your logo. Please. If it's not your logo, change it to your logo ASAP. If you don't have a logo, you should get one. But if you don't have a logo, then have that be your pretty face, because you want to have recognition here. It's so important for your brand awareness when your posts are going through your newsfeed to have your logo right next to your name. And that means, we're kind of cut off a little bit, sorry guys. Your profile name should be as close to your business name as possible. If you have a really long business name, it's possible that you might not be able to put the whole thing there, so you may need to get a little creative, but have it be as close to your legal business name as possible, because when people are looking for you, you want them to find you and not someone else who has a business name that sounds like yours. Right underneath it, it's hard to see, is the handle for your platform. Every social media channel is going to have a handle, and so for example for mine, it's Zing Pop Social on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, because my website is zingpopsocial.com. So across the board, it's consistent. All of these different platforms have the same handle so that people can find me no matter where they want to find me. So you want to be consistent as well to make it easy for your audience to find you. You'll always have a place for a little bio. And so your bio should be filled out on all of your platforms, and it should have some good keywords. If your bio is kind of out there and flowery, but doesn't specifically state what you do, that might mean that people who don't know you but are looking for your type of service won't be able to find you because those keywords aren't involved. So you want to have those. There are places on Facebook, for example, you can have a much longer description about your business where you can get all those fun, flowery things in there. But you want your bio section to be short, concise, and say exactly what you do. So there's no like, is this a service that I need? Yes, it is. Please put where you're located. Even if you are virtual, you still want people to know where you are because there are some people who want to work with people who are local. And so if you don't have that on there, people might go somewhere else. And then you always want to have your website. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to somebody's business page on their whatever social channel wanting to learn more about their business and they don't have their website listed. And then I can't find a website anywhere. Maybe that means they don't have a website, and that's fine. If you don't have a website, it's not the end of the world. But if you have one and you're not listing it, you are losing opportunities. So basically, with any profile that you have on social media, everything should be filled out. I want you to go and look at all of your profiles when you get home. All right, maybe not tonight, but make it a thing, a piece of homework that in the next business week, you're going to look at your About section on every one of your profiles and update them. Is your right phone number on there? Is your business email address on there? And like Teresa was saying, have it be yourname.com as opposed to yourname@gmail. You want to look professional. So fill that out whenever you can, and that's going to help you get found. All right, you've picked your social network, you've set it all up. Now it's time to get out there. And like I mentioned, people don't wake up thinking that they want to follow you on Facebook. So you've got to tell them that you're there. It's important to make sure that you are letting people know where you are and where they can find you. So there are a lot of options you have. First off, you can send an email. You can have an email that is specifically going out to your audience, your contact list, saying, hey, I just started up a Facebook page, please come and follow me. You want to make sure that you are linking directly to your Facebook page or your Instagram account or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever, so that people don't have to search for you. If people have to search for you, the more steps you make them take, the less likely they are to take them. So link right to your profile so that they can follow you from there. And you want to tell them why they should do that. It's not like you need to say you're going to get all of these free things and this is why you should follow my page. Just say, hey, I'm going to be sharing tips about social media and email marketing. If you want to have help with that on your own business, then you should like my page. Something simple like that. It doesn't have to be complex. And then, of course, include those social links. For those of you who do have websites, hopefully all of you, you want to have a link to your different social channels on your website. I can't tell you how many times also, when I start working with a new client and I'm researching their business, when I go to their website, I find, okay, great, I found their Facebook and their Pinterest page, and then we start talking and I start talking about their Facebook and their Pinterest page, and like, oh, I also have Instagram. Well, why don't you have that listed on your website? You need to give people all of the options because not everybody is on all platforms, so you want them to be able to follow you on the platform of their choice. Meet them where they are. You want to make it ridiculously easy for people to find you. Another cool thing that you can do is actually on Facebook, they have a whole section where you can link to your other accounts so that you can just put that all right in there. But you can share content, on your Twitter account, you can share, hey, come follow me on Facebook and vice versa. You can advertise your other social media channels on the other social channels that you have. So use those networks to help grow a particular new one. Something that you should all consider doing if you have VIP clients, people who are big supporters of yours, find those people and follow them on their social networks. With Facebook as a business page, you can't follow individuals, but you can follow other businesses. So if you have some great power partners, you want to be sure that you're following them on Facebook, on Instagram, on Instagram and on Twitter and on Pinterest. You can follow other accounts without them reciprocating. So Facebook, it's an interesting connection for a business with a person, where the person can only follow you, you can't follow them, but all of the other platforms, you can follow people as long as they don't have a restricted account. So find those people who are your biggest supporters and follow them, because they are most likely going to be the people who are going to start interacting with you and then helping you grow your network. So remember I said at the beginning that 73% of people are more likely to buy from a brand who engages with them on social media. This is a huge piece that a lot of small businesses don't do. And so I know that none of you in this room are going to make the mistake that other small businesses make. And that is, people come and interact with their posts, and then the businesses don't respond. People are coming and spending time commenting on your posts, and this gets your post found because of them interacting. It gets spread to their network. So they took some time out of their day. You can take 2 seconds out of your day to respond to them, because this does a couple of things. It's really, like, this is stuff that gets me all jazzed up. So this guy, whatever his name is, Peter, that's been blurred out, he's come and commented on this post. So you should at the very least like it. You should always like the comments that people leave, unless it's just tagging a friend's name, or certainly if they say something inappropriate, you don't have to like that. But so they've said something, shared vision. So like it and then reply. You want to hit this little reply button so that it responds to that original post or comment. If you add a comment down here, that's not necessarily going to be tied to this one. And so you want to start a little thread. And this is because when you respond, that person comes back to your posts to read that response. And that not only gets them touching your page again, which you want, because every time they touch your page, it increases the likelihood that they're going to see your next post. So you want those page touches as much as you possibly can get. But then also, it makes them feel good. They don't have to know that you're sitting in your sweats on your couch responding to them. It makes people feel really special and important when a business engages with them on social media. So taking 3 seconds to say, thanks so much, I really appreciate your feedback, can be the difference between someone making a purchase with you and not. Or can be the difference between someone saying, oh man, I like these guys, I'm gonna comment again, I'm gonna share their post because I feel important. So you wanna make people feel important by you engaging with them. All right, this is the big thing that people always get hung up on. But I do not know what to say on social media. So you want to think about putting out content that people are going to be likely to share, because you want more people seeing your stuff, right? So you're putting out content that people are more likely to share, and of course, useful things get shared. I can't tell you how many times I see cooking videos, because, well, Facebook also knows that I like cooking videos, but when my friends share cooking videos, I'm more likely to just sit and watch because I love watching cooking. Things that are engaging, like physically people have to take an action, so they have to click to read or click to watch. Something that people have to, engaging as in taking a physical step. And that's also good because, again, we want people touching our contents, because the more they touch it, the more they're going to see it. We are visual creatures, we like visual things, so whenever you can incorporate visual things into your posts, go ahead and do it. And of course, it's never a bad idea to put some content out that's going to tug on people's heartstrings, you know, make them feel some emotions. Probably not a great idea to put out stuff that's going to make people angry all the time, but every once in a while, not a bad idea. But think about the sort of stuff that you are more likely to share, and share that kind of content on your own page. There are tons of things that you can post. Now, thinking about images, you can obviously do new products. You can do, introduce an employee. You can introduce clients. You know, there are all sorts of things that you can take pictures of that you can share on your social channels. With links, of course, things like your blogs, linking back to your website so that people can get more information, linking to articles on other websites that you feel are really important, linking to reviews, that's also a good thing. With videos, you can do things like client testimonials. If you can get rope one of your clients in to do a great video for you, that's always a good thing. Product demonstrations, unboxing videos. I know a lot of people who do unboxing videos. So there are tons of different things that you do on a day-to-day basis that you might think are just day-to-day things, but they aren't day-to-day for your audience. So you can share those things to your audience so that they get to know you a little bit better and really bring them into what you're all about and what you do on a regular basis. A lot of people get hung up on like, oh, well, I can't write a bunch of blogs, I don't take pictures every day, I can't create all of this content. The great thing is that you don't have to create all the content yourself. You can share other people's content. You can and you should. So, we were talking about following your big fans on different social channels, so look and see what they're sharing. Is any of that relevant for your audience? And then go ahead and share it. For any of you who deal with fashion or food, you know that there are people out there taking pictures of their meals at your restaurants and when they're wearing your clothes, and so you can share those pictures that they are sharing, obviously giving credit to the original poster, and saying, hey, look at this amazing meal that I just had, or that my client just had. If there are businesses who do similar things that you do, you can share their content. I mean, obviously you don't want to share your competitors' stuff, but if you do something that someone on the East Coast is doing, and they are not competitors because you're a local specific business, if they have a great blog, go ahead and share their content, because it's not going to take anything away from you, but it's going to look like you know what's going on. You're up on your industry, you're up on other people who are doing great things in your industry, so shedding some light on their business is not going to do anything to take away from yours, and it means that you don't have to write a new piece of content. You just share someone else's. You want to make sure, of course, that you're sharing from credible sources. You don't want to share something that is untrue and spread fake news. And you don't want to be, also, it's always a good idea to look at what you're sharing to see, are there a bunch of pop-ups? Are there tons of ads? Does it detract from what the actual content of the piece is? Is it too much of a hassle to read it because you have to click through all these things? So think about that, because you want it to look good for you. You want whatever you're sharing to reflect well on your channels. So always think about that. And then the important thing when you're sharing someone else's content is you want to add your own spin. Why is this piece of content important? Why did you share it? Why do you think your audience should be reading this or watching this or looking at this? So always put in your own 2 cents, because we want people to get connected to you and understand why you think something is important. And so I can't tell you how important this is to think about. Now, I'm a business owner. I would love to pay my mortgage and to buy groceries on a regular basis. So that is why I have a business. But I also have a business because I love supporting small business owners. But first and foremost, no matter what our passion is, we have to be able to take care of ourselves. And generally, we want to take care of ourselves by selling all the time. But that's not why a single person gets on social media for personal use. Nobody gets on social media to be sold to. So if you are finding that you're not having a lot of success with whatever it is that you're posting on social media, look to see, are you just selling all the time? Often when I start working with new realtors, they're saying, oh, Facebook's not getting any traction for me, and it's because all they're doing is posting their listings. They just have house after house after house on there, and if I just spent $1 million+ buying a house, the last thing I need is another house. So I want some resources on keeping my house up. What do I do in my new neighborhood? What can I do to increase the property value of my house? So think about, people don't need to be buying from you all the time, but they need to see you as a resource of credibility for what you do. So 80% of the time, you need to be sharing content that is valuable and interesting to your audience. You always should be writing and posting for your audience and not you. So take a look, do some soul searching, and see if what you've been posting is more for you or for your audience. And so if you do that 80% well, if you're sharing entertaining, inspirational, motivational, educational stuff that's really helping your audience, a good resource for them, then that gives you the right to do your 20% promotional, because of course you want to sell things, because we need to make money, right? But that 20% of promotional content really should be 20%. It should not be 30, it should not be 50. You want to be building relationships so that people get to know, like, and trust you, so that when you do post your 20% promotional, they are primed to buy because they know that you know your business. All right, we're getting down to the end. We're almost done, guys. All right, how many of you have done advertising on social? All right, okay. I really cannot more strongly recommend testing it out than just trying on Facebook, because it's super easy. And because of advertising on social media, you're going to get more action on your website, you are going to get more people hearing about you and making purchases. So you want to use this tool. Now, a lot of people get overwhelmed by the idea of trying something new, totally understandable, I do too. But it's super easy and you don't have to invest a lot of money. The minimum amount is $1 a day. Again, I think we all can invest $1 a day. And you don't have to be running it for weeks and months or years on end. You can spend $2 and do an ad or just do some testing. So, we want to start off with picking a message. And you can't really see because this is a little bit small. But this is an example from Facebook. It might look slightly different on different platforms, but the concept is the same. So you're going to start off by picking out, writing in your copy, your text that you're going to have. So this right here, I'm sure you can read it, is the same as is right there. So you're putting together your copy, what you want your ad to say. You get to select your image so that you can customize whatever image you want to have in there. So you get it to look the way you want, and so you always get a preview. Then you pick your audience, and the more accurate you are with who your audience is, the better you'll be able to target them. So if you were just saying, oh, I want to work with anyone who's alive, it's like, well, that's not good enough. You need to know specifics. So I know, for me, my target is working with women who are 35 or older, who own their own business, and who generally are sole proprietors. This is my sweet spot for me. And so I can put all of that information in. So I can select gender, men, women, everybody, age, my location. So I can work with people all over the world. But if you are a very specific target, then you obviously want to know where. So you can do cities, you can do counties, you can do multiples, you can do 25 miles from 95008, whatever you want. And then you can target their interests and their behaviors. And this is where the more you know about your desired audience, the better. What kind of car do they drive? What kind of purse do they have? What kind of activities are their children involved in? These are the sort of things that you really can drill down on and attract that person that you're looking for. And so then, after you've defined your audience, you get to set your budget. So you can put in a daily budget, or you can pull it down and it can be a set campaign budget. You can say how long you want it to run for. So they give you 7, 14, and 28 days, but you can just adjust it by a calendar and put it however long you want. Again, it can be as little as 24 hours. But I recommend doing something for a week and putting a couple bucks a day out there for that and seeing how it goes. The thing that's great is that you don't get charged for it until the end of the ad campaign unless it's running for a really long time. You generally just get billed once a month. So if you don't have the money right now to do your ad campaign, but once you do your ad campaign, you will have the money, great. You do have to put in a credit card, but then it just automatically charges, usually somewhere around the 25th of the month. So it's super easy, and I encourage you to try it out, even if you felt overwhelmed by branching out into doing ad campaigns. It doesn't have to be that complicated. You can make it incredibly complicated and intricate, but you don't have to. So if you've been waiting on doing some ad campaigns because you're worried that you won't be able to figure it out, just start fiddling with it and just set it for $1 a day. Then you won't be out a lot of money. These are all the different platforms that have social or have advertising. So, well, Google Plus now, go away. I'll take that off the slide. But all the rest of these you can do advertising on. Okay, now, really quickly, I just want to talk about these two things working together because they are great. And like I mentioned again, you don't always own, or you never own your social platform. You just are borrowing the space. With email and social media working together, you're going to get more customer engagement. Oops. You're going to get more new customers, and you're going to get more business referrals. The easier you make it for people to share your content, the more likely it's going to happen. So you can utilize your social platforms to be building your email list. Again, even if you're not emailing regularly yet, but you will be, you can start collecting those email addresses. This is on Instagram. You have one link available to use on Instagram. You can start utilizing that to build your email list. If you use Facebook and you use Constant Contact or MailChimp or Roadly or a variety of other professional email platforms, you can just have a tab right there on your Facebook page to sign up, so people don't even need to leave, they don't need to leave Facebook to sign up for your list. You can also utilize your call to action button on Facebook to have people sign up for your email there. So lots of different options. You can do actual posts asking people to sign up for your list, so that's an option too. The big thing is, oh gosh, see, I'm almost done. The big thing is you want to ask, because if you don't ask, people probably won't take that step. They won't take that step to follow you. They won't take that step to join your list. They may not take that step to engage with your posts, so ask them. There's never a problem with asking. All right, so getting started is very easy. You pick your platform, create your business profile and fill it out completely, and then make a post. You don't have to have all of your ducks in a row. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing is to just get started. Because once you get started, then you're going to practice and you're going to get better. If you're worried about messing up at the beginning, the great thing is, if you don't have any followers, nobody's going to see your mistakes. So just get started and practice and get comfortable with it, and then you will be successful. So I did it. I don't know how long that took me, but I got through it all, and I would be delighted to take questions as long as I can. I don't see Lisa, but hey.
I have a question. So what do you feel is a good return on investment on the ads? Because, I mean, I constantly get them boost this, boost that. People are boosting stuff like this. So what do you think about that?
Drilling down to a specific number for your ROI really is going to depend on your business and how much you're spending and what's important. But I think that if you're utilizing advertising, then you should have a clear goal in mind so that you can measure whether or not you were successful. If you just start putting money behind posts or doing ads without a goal of what you're expecting to accomplish, then how are you going to know if you accomplished it or not? So having a clear set of goals and objectives is the first place to start with that, so that when you get to the end of your campaign, you can say, did I hit my goal or not? I definitely would say you should try it, but if you need some help figuring stuff out, that's something that I do. Any other questions? Content,
Newsletter or campaign.
Thank you so much.
So if you are going to send like a campaign out or a newsletter, is there like, say,
Oh, for your emails? Oh, I can talk about this all day. But yes, for email marketing, you should be doing 20 lines of text or less in your entire email. Because when do you ever want to read a long email from a business? Never. So short and sweet and to the point. And I think that's kind of good for everything because we're all busy, we're all time starved, and if you are expecting people to read some long thing or watch a really long video, you'll probably be disappointed. So you need to build up that relationship before you ask people to really commit that sort of time to watching a video or reading a post or that sort of thing. Any other questions?
You do analytics?
I do analytics, yes. And so I'll be following up with everybody with the slides, and if you have more questions, then you can ask them that way. But I'll be shooting you all an email. So hooray! Thanks, everyone.